Hello, what is up? My name is Harry TMM, and welcome to my revamped Sherlock Holmes series. Before we start the video, I have an announcement to make, but if you've already seen the title, you will know. We hit 100 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I cannot stress that enough. I want to thank you guys from the heart for taking the time to subscribe to my channel. It really helps me. Well, thank you just so much. In today's video, we will be going over the first case. I completely forgot what that was, but it's something to do with a murder with a guy with a harpoon. Something or other. Epic dubstep music. The fate of Black Peter. Oh God. Oh God, he's got a loaded gun! Hi! Take cover, Watson!
Holmes, will you stop that?
Just stop it, Holmes. It'll be better for the both of us if you stop shooting at vases!
Utterly mad. Stop, Holmes!
Is that you, Watson?
Yes, of course it is. And you almost killed me.
Nonsense. I was aiming for the vases.
Blindfolded?
Watson, quiet, please. I'm trying to concentrate. Ah, Lestrade. What is it this time?
He can see me. Well, here it is, and it's a good one, Mr. Holmes. A gentleman by the name of Peter Carey, also known as Black Peter, has been murdered.
A sailor, most probably.
What happened here?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, how could you?
It's the only exercise I've had all week. A grateful client from Limoges sent me a vase collection this morning. I couldn't think of a better use for it.
You're out of your mind.
I missed 4 out of 10.
Given you were blindfolded, that was very good. Can I have a try?
Am I
no.
the only sane one here?
I suppose that
You
Watson is
shot
right,
6 of
Inspector.
them.
A little brain work would be preferable now. Do please tell us more about Black Peter.
Peter Carey, born in 1845 and 50 years old. An ambitious sort, he achieved much success in seal and whale hunting around Scandinavia. Retired in 1884 with a small fortune.
Not bad.
He invested his money in a property called Woodman's Lee, near Forest Row in Sussex. It was where he lived for 6 years, and where he was found dead yesterday.
Has the investigation already begun?
Yes and no. In fact, this crime is so mysterious that I would prefer you to join me down there.
Give me
This
half an
case
hour
is
to
only for
prepare,
Sherlock.
Inspector.
This is Sherlock's
Take your
domain.
time and join me there. I have to go through the yard first. The merry men struck again.
What
Not
have they done
again.
this time?
They robbed a powder reserve. I'll meet you at Woodman's Lee, Mr. Holmes.
No
I should
mysterious
help Mrs.
taxes.
Hudson here. I also have several appointments that I must keep this afternoon.
I shall go alone then.
Allows you to wiggle some extra thinking time, doesn't it, Holmes? Ah, and the nice Victorian top hat.
My archive. I can always consult with it if need. This is where I keep my post.
Sticking it with a knife? That's not a very useful way. You can block out one of the words. Next stop, Woodman's Lee. By the looks of it, he's wearing the novel suggested in the title of the game. Good one, Holmes. You use some extra reading. If you like what you see, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the notification button to stay notified I upload any more content. And Merry Christmas to you all.
Mr.
Because it was
Holmes,
Christmas
I'm
over
over
there.
here. Come.
Hello, we can see that, Lestrade.
It seems that the garden was well maintained.
Inspector Lestrade, when will you remove my husband's body? It's sacrilegious to leave him here like this.
Obvious Catholic is
As
obvious.
soon as we can, Mrs. Carey, I assure you. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Sherlock Holmes. He's a detective. No doubt you've heard of him. I'll wait for you in front of the cabin, Mr. Holmes.
My condolences, Mrs. Carey.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
First, do a full body thingamy-bob. Nothing on the nose. Oh. Cameo, self-portrait, Catholic rosary because she's a Catholic. Next is the birdhouse. So she's a...
Madam, can you tell me if you saw or heard anything unusual upon the night of the murder?
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I heard a terrible scream. But I thought nothing of it then. He would scream all the time when he was drunk.
So
Can you please tell me what occurred on the evening of the murder?
Well, Peter got drunk in the evening. He was in such a terrible temper. Usually whenever that happened, he'd stay all night drinking in his cabin before passing out.
Thank you, madam. Do you remember at what time you found your husband's body?
In the morning, at around 7 o'clock, I noticed the cabin door was open, but I didn't go in to take a look, for I knew my husband would not have liked it. At around 10 o'clock, I dared to glance in through the door and... oh dear.
Was your husband accustomed to receiving visitors?
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, he didn't really have many friends. He lived quite an isolated life here, after his retirement.
The garden is very large and well maintained. Do you employ someone to look after it?
It is true, there is a lot of work, but my husband took care of it himself.
You have indeed suffered a great loss, Mrs. Carey. Nevertheless, I believe it will be less of a burden for you soon.
Yes. Life with Peter was never easy, but he was still my husband.
Because in the
He was
Catholic Church you
different,
can't
wasn't he,
divorce.
when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
Never mind.
Ah, no.
You have indeed suffered a...
Yes.
He was different, wasn't he, when you first met him upon your return from Plymouth?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Oh my goodness, but how do you know about that?
You undertook a pilgrimage to the Cathedral of
Santiago
Santiago
de
de Compostela.
Compostela.
When you were young. That
That's
much
too
is
Italian.
evident from the rosary in your hand. The shortest route for the pilgrim from England to Spain is from Plymouth. I believe that you met Peter Carey as a young sailor there, and you married him soon afterwards.
That is indeed what happened, Mr. Holmes. How extraordinary.
Oh, you just have the biggest
Thank
brains
you,
in the
madam.
business. Next,
Peter Carey's body is inside the cabin. We took care not to touch anything.
Mr. Holmes? Mr. Holmes?
okay.
The door is locked.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Holmes, and I'll open it. I locked it yesterday to ensure that no one should enter the cabin and tamper with the evidence.
Ah, good thinking.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is it, Lestrade?
It seems to me that someone has tried to force it, Mr. Holmes.
Let me see. These scratches are fresh.
You're right.
You're right. Someone tried to force open the door.
I swear these scratches were not here yesterday.
Now, a mysterious visitor came here last night.
Well, he's not the man for the job. This lock is not a difficult one.
Perhaps he did not have the right tool.
Good thinking, Holmes. Jesus.
What a terrible way to die.
The harpoon flows right through his chest. That's horrible. That's obscene.
Old navigation instruments, nothing interesting. Peter Carey's... The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1870. This place is not covered with dust, like the rest of the shelf. An object was taken from here. It was larger than a book. A box or a small chest, perhaps. The tooth of a sperm whale, probably from one of Peter Carey's catches. Hammerfest. Dundee. It's a whaling map. Harpoons for hunting. The ship's logs of the Sea Unicorn for the years 1878 to 1884. Peter Carey was her captain.
Damn.
This man is in his 50s, yet he still looks quite strong. Peter Carey was fully dressed. He was not caught by surprise. It is possible that he knew his murderer. Peter Carey was impaled to the wall by a whaling harpoon.
Someone with incredible strength must have done that. Someone with spectacular strength must have done that.
The pattern of the blood stain indicates that the notebook was not lying on the floor prior to the crime, but it was dropped into the pool of blood after the death of Peter Carey. JHN are probably the initials of the owner of this notebook. These abbreviations mean something, but what?
Oh, that doesn't fit. That doesn't fit. First of all, we must do an ambush.
Someone was here yesterday. They attempted to force the door to gain entry. This wooden handle is plain and solid. This blood is from the pool underneath the dead body. Peter Carey tried to defend himself with this knife, but he did not succeed.
Well, that's bleeding obvious, isn't it? Yumma, 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 yumma.
Peter Carey was fully the weapon fully penetrated the body. The force of the blow was immense.
So it has to be someone of spectacular strength, maybe a whaler from the same ship that Peter Carey was captaining. Therefore, that is the motive to why he murdered him, because he was an absolute prick.
Rum, a sailor's drink.
He was an absolute
Someone drank
prick.
from this glass recently. It seemed that Captain Carey was enjoying a drink before he met his death.
Well, that was pretty much just from the interview, wasn't it, Holmes? Oh,
The initials PC have been crudely burned. A sailor's work.
Oh god, I hate this bit.
This aroma is familiar, but to recognize it, I must
Not this
construct
bit.
my associations.
Just go.
Yes, this is a coarse tobacco, quite strong and very...
Mr. Holmes?
Well, Mr. Holmes, what do you think?
I think that we are lucky.
And why is that?
Because of last night's attempted break-in.
Oof. You've lost me.
It is very probable that whoever came here hoped to find the door open. They tried to force it with a knife blade, but they failed. What will they do? Why, return tonight, when they will be better prepared.
With an actual key.
So what do you propose?
We shall remain on the outside, near the window, where we stand the best chance of catching sight of our visitor. Well, gentlemen, ready your pistols. We have a long night ahead of us.
We need to find a good place for an ambush. Perhaps behind Carey's cabin, near the window.
Holmesy loves to go for a good run.
This looks like the perfect hiding place.
There he is. There he is.
Shh! Did you hear that? There's someone there. I'm gonna collar him.
I'll be right behind you.
Police! Hold it right there!
Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Holmes. All right, my fine fellow. Who are you and what are you doing here?
You're detectives, I suppose. You imagine that I'm connected with the death of Captain Carey. I assure you I'm innocent.
He is,
Innocence?
actually.
And what are you doing in his cabin?
Shall I tell you? You came to retrieve what you had lost after killing Peter Carey, but we were here waiting for you.
What is your name?
John Hopley Nelligan, but I didn't...
Do you deny that you came here yesterday?
No, but I... Yes, it's just that I couldn't...
I'm tired of this. Off we go to the yard. Tomorrow, I'll see that you're put in front of the judge.
What? But you can't! I'm not... It's a terrible mistake!
Enough. You can explain all of that to the judge. You're coming with me to the yard.
But...
In light of recent events, it seems evident that your coming here was unnecessary. All the same, I'm very grateful to you, Mr. Holmes.
You are welcome, Inspector. But please don't be too hard on our young fellow. I would like to question him tomorrow morning.
Don't say that to him in his face. First to the examining room. I think, yeah, this is
These are the suspect's belongings.
that notebook we found, the knife, and
A handkerchief with the initials JHN.
so if he had a handkerchief, that means he must have fallen on hard times because of his father's death. Furthermore,
And partner, 1883. From R. Dawson.
or like Scott Dawson.
To my friend, Dawson. I've seen this name before. Perhaps my archive holds the answer.
Not done with it yet, Holmes.
A pocket knife. It was used to force the door of Peter Carey's cabin. A handkerchief. These abbreviations mean something. But what?
CP Army for Canada.
Locked.
Nope, don't go down there, that's a mortuary. Don't go down there, Holmes. There he is. The main suspect.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan. The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner. So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
The sea knife was found near Carey's body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me...
I need to stage a reconstruction. I am sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
First head to Wumsley to get a harpoon. Then... But first search the archive. Then search the archives. Then conduct the experiment.
These boots don't match the footprints.
So it could have been Carrie. Oh, well.
That should do it.
Baker Street. He just doesn't have that muscular thing.
A map of London and the surrounding area. It could be useful.
Archives. Dawson and Elegant are bankrupt.
That is not the one I need.
Wait. The Dawson and Elegant investment fund bankrupt now and missing. The Dawson and Elegant Investment Fund, a regional banking institution based in Cornwall, declared bankruptcy as a result of heavy losses in its own portfolio and accordingly assigned for liquidation. It is the 23rd largest bank in Britain, and its bankruptcy was the second largest on record. Liquidation company is a core catastrophe for many Cornwall families. Joshua Nelson, one of the bankers, has since mysteriously disappeared. He was last seen aboard his yacht preparing for departure to Norway. Nelligan is wanted by both police and his creditors. He was murdered by Black Clary at the dead of night.
Here it is.
We all know that.
Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Oh, not now. I still got to throw the harpoon thingy, Bob.
A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No, but we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible, but if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
What thing?
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Boom!
Wonderful.
Sarcasm
Watson,
obvious.
let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely. Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
Oh God, Holmes! Don't look at her. Boom! Set a course from wherever we're supposed to go. So therefore, it could only be a man of very high strength, this thing. So it can't be Nelligan. It just can't. He doesn't have the muscle. He just does not have the muscle required to. It could have been lucky, and it could have been a massive feat of strength.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment.
A little...
Stand aside.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test.
Yeah, that's pretty damn obvious.
Holmes, I can't believe it. Did you just miss?
Sorry.
Holmes, you should try to...
Yes! Boom shakalaka!
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes.
So therefore...
Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Only mangled
Very well,
two?
but please hurry.
Of course.
I only did two. Jeez. So therefore, it can't be a strength requirement pinned to the wall. It can't be someone of strength. It can't be some. It has to be someone's strength. It just has to. Nelligan does not have that strength. Period. Let's get out of here. Let's go to Scotland Yard and tell Nelligan of our finds. Why has no one been ruined this video? Why is no one viewing this video?
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes. Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
Well, he was killed
My
by Black
father was
Peter.
under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believe that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Nope, it was
Thank
murder.
you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress.
It's only taken half an hour.
Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea.
Ship's logs. Ship's logs solve this. Go to Womansea. Go to the cabin. Expect a thingamabob. Ship's logs. Ship's logs solve.
1883. That's the one I need.
Nothing happens, nothing
This
happens.
is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn.
Hang on, is that Patrick Kearns? I swear that.
This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for June. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn. Log notes for August. Canadian Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
Will you stop slapping yourself, Holmes? I'm of the... Let's go speak to the missus. See me. See if we can...
Your husband's private papers. Do you know where they are?
There was a small tin box, barely larger than a book. He kept his papers there. It should be somewhere in his cabin.
Is this your husband's tobacco pouch?
I'm not sure. It might be. But he hadn't smoked in a very long time.
It's not his.
Thank you, madam.
Let's check out Wiggins. Here we go. Let's inform Watson, then search for Wiggins and his crew.
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they're still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialists.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Good one.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Lestrade's found something. Lestrade solved this. Nothing.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always, what happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley.
Not
I'm
the guy
thinking
with...
that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to speak.
Oh god,
Let
yes.
her-
Oh, yeah. Of course. It's in the evidence room. At your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking.
How is the investigation going, Mr. Holmes? Do you have any idea who the murderer is yet?
Oh, don't go that way.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
You won't talk, will he?
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely. And considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
He's
Could you
always
at
been
least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see.
He's a gunner.
That's all for now.
Eminence room. We're just here. No, that's the interrogation room. Wrong room. Sorry. Nope, still wrong. Nope, still wrong. What's happening? Here it is. Mama.
These are the suspects.
Nope, we've already been through this.
These are the suspect's belongings. The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemical. A pen. Nothing unusual about it. Liam Hurtley's old...
Anyway guys, I'm going to end the video there. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I have been Harry TMM, and I wish you a good night.